In the summer of 2020, archaeologist Sarah Bennett was tracking down an ancient stone tablet found by a local shepherd in Peru's Andes Mountains. Unearthed in a desert village, the tablet was etched with a rough map and indecipherable symbols. Local legends claimed it pointed to a lost settlement called Zoryanthos, believed to have been home to an advanced agricultural society that mysteriously vanished centuries ago. Sarah, driven by a passion for uncovering lost cultures, sensed this tablet could be the discovery of her career. But this journey would thrust her and her team into a grueling fight for survival against nature and human error. Sarah assembled a small but seasoned team: geologist Michael Carter, historian Emily Stone, and logistics expert James Reed. Following the tablet's map, they headed into the heart of the Andes to locate Zoryanthos' remains and unravel why this enigmatic society disappeared. The wild terrain of the mountains, however, would push them to their physical and mental limits. The team set out from Lima in a rented jeep with a local guide. The Andes' rugged paths were riddled with muddy trails and sudden weather shifts. On the second day, a torrential downpour turned the road to sludge, causing one of the jeeps to skid and nearly tumble off a cliff. James, with quick reflexes, used ropes to stabilize the vehicle and save the team, but most of their spare supplies were lost. "We've got to be more careful from here on out," Sarah said, trying to keep morale high. After 3 days of grueling trekking, they reached the valley marked on the tablet's map. The valley was hemmed in by steep cliffs, accessible only through a narrow canyon. Michael examined the rock formations and noted the valley's geology looked unnatural, almost deliberately carved. "This valley's like a fortress. No wonder Zoryanthos was built here." At the canyon's end, they found a moss-covered stone wall. It appeared man-made, etched with symbols matching those on the tablet. Emily theorized the symbols represented agricultural cycles and water sources. "These people must have mastered water control," she said. "Maybe that's what made this valley so fertile." The team pressed into the canyon and discovered a cave entrance. The cave led through a tight tunnel into a larger chamber. Inside, they found remnants of carved irrigation channels and shattered pottery. Sarah believed the pottery's patterns pointed to a pre-Incan culture. "This could be Zoryanthos," she said, her voice brimming with excitement. "But why was it abandoned?" Michael spotted something on the cave floor, a small stone slab with an arrow etched into it. The slab pointed to a tunnel entrance. The tunnel was narrow and dark, the air heavy and stale. The team switched on their flashlights and ventured in. The tunnel sloped downward into another chamber where they found stone shelves lined with neatly arranged seeds and dried plants. "Some kind of storage," James said, awestruck. "These must be centuries old." But their discovery was cut short by disaster. Michael accidentally dislodged a stone block, triggering a partial tunnel collapse. Emily was caught under falling debris, injuring her leg. Sarah and James hauled her out as the cave continued to rumble. "We need to move fast," Michael shouted. They carried Emily to the canyon's entrance, but the tunnel fully collapsed behind them, burying the stone slab. As they tried to leave the valley, the weather turned hostile. A fierce storm transformed the canyon into a flood channel. Water rose to their knees, forcing the team to cling to rocks as they pushed forward. James used the remaining ropes to rig a makeshift shelter, but the wind tore through their tarps. Sarah guided the team to a small cave for cover, where they waited out the storm. Emily, despite her pain, worked on sketching a map of the symbols. She said, "These symbols describe a water management system. Zoryanthos might have been wiped out by a flood." When the storm subsided, the team reached the valley's center. There they found a stone-ringed area that looked like an ancient farmland. Michael noted the soil was still fertile. He said this valley could have fed hundreds back then. But they found no further traces of Zoryanthos' people, as if they'd vanished overnight. The next morning, the team discovered another cave at the far end of the canyon. Inside, a bronze disc on a stone platform caught their eye. The disc was engraved with sun and moon symbols and had a small hole at its center. Sarah examined it and said, "This might be some kind of key." But when they tried to move the disc, the ground shook and a trap sprang to life. Arrows shot out from the cave ceiling. James shoved Sarah to the ground, taking a graze to her shoulder. Michael quickly replaced the disc, stopping the trap. "These people went all out to protect their stuff," he said. The team retreated, and Sarah bandaged James's shoulder with the first aid kit. "We can't take more risks," she warned. But Emily insisted the disc could unlock Zoryanthos' secret. "We have to go back," she said stubbornly. The team made one last attempt to retrieve the disc. This time, Michael used a stick to test the trap, disabling the arrow mechanism. They secured the disc, but on their way out, a landslide blocked the canyon's exit. The path was buried under rubble. James rigged a climbing route with the remaining ropes. After hours of struggle, the team escaped the valley, battered but alive. Back in Lima, they had the bronze disc analyzed in a lab. It revealed a schematic for an irrigation system, confirming Zoryanthos was a water-savvy civilization, likely destroyed by a catastrophic flood. Emily published their findings in a paper, but the exact location of Zoryanthos remained a secret, buried by the landslide. Sarah carried the memories of the valley with her team. "We found Zoryanthos, but we couldn't protect its secret," she said one night, staring at the stars. James touched the scar on his shoulder and smiled. "Maybe some secrets are meant to stay lost." The team swore to guard Zoryanthos' legacy and returned home, hoping to return one day.